Contrary to popular belief, this is not just rap music. This is life. So I offer you right now, life. Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.
What's happening? We back. Episode 6, Unmasked. It's your boy Trez. Glad to be back again. Also with me from the course, I got my boy P. What's happening with it, man?
What's good, baby king to a god?
All's love.
All right. Yo, shout out to my man Lo Sin. Rest in heaven to my man Sauce on the track. D-Spins.
What's up?
Tell them about it, man.
Oh, man. Happy Black History Month, fellas.
Ooh.
Most definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
But
well.
before we get to that piece, y'all know the drill. Let's unmask. So again, I say, happy Black History Month, fellas. Welcome to it.
About it. We here.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's definitely talk about it.
So I will tell y'all, Black History Month is, and I definitely don't want to denounce what Black History Month is for some people. For me, personally, Black History is all year long. And I will tell you, we have had some of the greatest innovators, some of the greatest, I guess you could say, people who made amazing inventions, changed the world.
Right.
Educators.
Still impacting the world.
Still impacting the world.
Yeah.
Still, having an amazing part of our culture to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, I do definitely appreciate that this month. Biggest thing for me is just we got to recognize our Black history all year long, 24/7, 365, year in and year out. So, again, not to denounce Black History Month, but to make a little bit more awareness of we are a part of the history of this American soil.
Yeah.
So, that's my piece. But
Okay. Trez, what you feel about it?
Well, I appreciate the fact that I guess that they giving us some type of recognition for something, for what we've done. How they chose the month February, which is the shortest month of the year.
That's my beef.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But like Spin said, first and foremost, Black History is more than just a month. It starts in January, it ends in December.
yeah, no doubt.
Every month, something different is happening. Something different has happened from somebody in the past, somebody in the present, and going forward. So Black history is always continually being made, not just in February. So we're not just going to celebrate it in February. We're going to celebrate it year round, most definitely.
Yeah. I think it's something for other cultures to kind of recognize. Not just me, you know what I'm saying? Not my culture or my people or my family, but I think it's something for other cultures to kind of tap in for that time frame.
Right.
Yeah.
Show their respect, what they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Good,
It's almost
bad,
be nicer to a black person for the month.
I mean, Trez, if you could say shit, barbarian,
we almost get a pass.
I wasn't gonna say the shit.
I'm just asking.
You know, it's
we get a pass for the month almost.
It's the same shit like
that's
Juneteenth.
why they gave us the shortest month.
Right. It's the same shit like Juneteenth. That bullshit. It's the same shit like the little boy eating a piece of watermelon at the start of summer.
Okay.
On the front page. It's
That's
all
like
that bullshit.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, I sit back reserve on it. You know what I mean? I take it for what it is. You know, it's nice to see people come out and give information because you do get some good things from it. You know, on social media, sometimes people will post something about somebody you never even heard of.
Yep.
Or you heard a little bit about. Now,
that is true.
It sparks you to dig deeper on that person and see what their life was about. And, you know,
Right.
maybe trigger something in you to make you go forward a little bit more than what you would have gone.
And do a little bit more research.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's a good thing about it. Like you, and that's why I kind of wanted to go in and say I don't want to denounce it, but
yeah, no, not at all.
But I think that we definitely need to recognize that our history is very, very important. You know, and it's not just limited to 1 month of whatever.
I
Because
agree.
if you really, let's just, say it for what it is, the reason why we don't agree with that short of a month, not because of the days, but think about how many people are on our Black History list.
Yeah.
The impact that they've had.
And it's longer than 28 days.
Right.
It's way more people than days. So
Right.
our history is just as important, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, that's my biggest thing on that. I wanted to just announce that and say how much we definitely appreciate, being noticed. But I think that we definitely need to recognize how much more history that we have, and do your own research and do your own, your due diligence.
Yeah.
Moving right along, it's important that we touch on such things as our Black history, because I want to, number one, say I do thank those who paved the way. I do thank those who have made it easy for us to be able to do things such as, work freely,
Right.
make a living, and do things like this.
Right.
Speak our mind, have our freedom of speech, and that type of thing. So I appreciate everything that goes into our freedom and what we are allowed to do these days.
Right.
I don't know if y'all want to go in on that piece, but that's just something I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, with history comes a lot, right? As a child, one of the things that I grew up on, there was one book that kind of sparked everything that was, kind of put it in a certain light. It was called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. You ever heard of it?
Oh, Spook by the Door. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So it's this guy from Chicago. Ultimately, he wanted to join the CIA, but they put you through all this training just to make you a janitor.
Yeah.
So he took that knowledge, took it back to the hood, Trez,
Infiltrate.
and taught all the kids in Cabrini Greens, projects, whatever. Gave them the knowledge of self, taught them how the combat shit. And here's the kicker. He took the light-skinned cats and had them go rob the banks and shit because they would appear as they were white people on the tape back in the day.
Right.
You think it's 60s, 70s, when you do the videotape, it's black or white.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the things it's like, damn, even when you try to hold us or shit on us or whatever, we can flip it and do something else with it. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that growing up, you had access to, and you dive into books and shit, because we ain't have all this social media shit.
Right.
So you dive into books. That was one of the books that grabbed my attention, along with a list of others.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know that piece of literature, Spook by the Door, written by Sam Greenlee.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's an amazing piece of work.
Most definitely.
So I'm glad you said bring it back to the hood. And that's almost a perfect segue. For me, when you bring things back into light for our community, our people, it's very important that you have some substance with what you bring, and then how does it relate to your future. So follow me on this. What I'm saying is that time and time again, you've seen, and you even just alluded to it, P, you said that there's a lot with our history. There's so much that you can go and say and go down the line. And so with that being said, there's a piece to that was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of murder, a lot of unsolved mysteries, a lot of just pure violence. In addition to that, just, unadulterated bullshit that went along with our history. I mean, you can think about from the Black Panther movement to the civil rights to, whatever timeline you want to go down.
Right.
I mean,
there's been a lot
even fighting for a country and then coming back and being hooked on heroin.
Yeah. Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not even being recognized as a citizen when you got back and you just put your life on the line for these motherfuckers.
And that was true jungle warfare. So, that's a totally different.
The trauma start from a place of doing something that you should have never did anyway.
Yeah. And let's talk about that. Not to cut you off, but let's talk about that. This shit starts at an early age. It doesn't necessarily have to be when you are in the military or when you get to that point in life,
Right.
or even when you're at adulthood. We'll talk about the adulthood side of things, But this shit starts at an early age. And so that's what I mean by when we bring these stories and when we have the youth and we bring things back to wherever we are essentially, blessed to be brought up, you have this almost like a requirement to teach. And so because when you grow up in certain areas, certain things, and you are privy to shit you probably shouldn't be seeing or doing at an early age, that shit grows up with you.
Yeah.
So
you're forced to grow up young. Grow up at a young age.
Absolutely.
Right. Trez, I know my man on the radio, he said the two most craziest people is from the Bronx and all of Florida. So
who you talking about?
Charlamagne. Yeah. So I know with you being from Florida, I know you've
y'all be having some wild stories, man.
Seen a lot. Like hold on, before you go, I got one more. You ever seen the show Atlanta when he was talking about the Florida man?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead though.
Was that with the Gator? Yeah. Was that the joint with the Gator?
The Florida man. Y'all be careful of the Florida man because everything is the Florida man.
No,
Florida man.
Definitely though. Growing up, you definitely see a lot. Speaking of when I was growing up, witnessed a lot. At that time though, social media wasn't out.
Right.
So it was almost you keep it to yourself. So you're seeing a lot of things, but you have to, you don't have that outlet that you could go to somebody to let them know what's going on and what's bothering you.
Right.
Over time, that can become an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that outlet versus today's, it may be the same situations going on, maybe a little bit worse, but they have that outlet of social media,
right.
Which allows them to
at least get it out,
to expose it a little bit more. You know, it was a hidden situation. So now that you have the social media and it's being put out more, now you're able to talk about the situation more. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up as a kid, when I was growing up, if a kid was to act a little nervous and act antsy, or what I'm saying, they was down, we forgive me for doing it, but we talked about it. We picked on them.
We belittled them.
But we didn't know what the real situation was now. Now, we didn't know if it was anxiety or depression or, it could have been something going on at the house. And, we're just looking down like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, to a certain extent, that still rings true today. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of platforms, different avenues we can go about. We don't necessarily have to do therapy. We'll kind of get into that. But the reason why this is important, and I thank you guys for, kind of chiming in and starting the conversation off. Mental health in our community is something that we have to really discuss. I know that in recent years, we've had a little bit more of a understanding of it. We've got a lot of literature that's coming out, a lot of different people talking about it, bringing awareness to it. But I think that these stories, these little excerpts that you guys just gave, is very, very important in kind of striking the match to say, hey, this shit is trauma. This is mental health issues that we need to address at an early age and kind of dive into it so that when we become adults, we're not so caught up in bullshit or we can't express or we can't feel a certain type of way.
But it's about breaking the cycle of, and it depends on each person's family, but it's about breaking the cycle of hiding secrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Where unfortunately in our community, something happened, be it somebody become a crackhead, somebody a pedophile in the family.
You better not tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody.
Don't say shit.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit to yourself. Y'all just don't go over there no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That was the fix. Don't go over there no more.
Yeah.
That's not a fix. Let's address the shit.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get it out. So you have to be strong enough, courageous enough to be able to have that conversation when something happens in your family. That's the only way to break it. If you want to say, no, I'm not going to therapy, which I champion therapy.
Absolutely. I second that.
But if you don't want to do that, then stop hiding shit in the family.
So what do you do when that becomes, what you've been accustomed to? We already said, don't say shit.
Mm-hmm.
But why has that been such a go-to in our community? Because
because you won. You don't want to face the embarrassment. See, unfortunately, the embarrassment back then was worse than just get that motherfucker to jail or have them get some whatever help they need. You don't want to embarrass first and foremost, the family structure was a lot tighter then.
Yeah.
Than it is now.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, everybody was within blocks of each other. Now you may have a first cousin that you was cool with that was like your brother. You in Texas now, he's still in Florida, or he in New York, Connecticut, South Carolina, Louisiana, wherever. You may not talk to his ass for a year.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I get that, but
so it's the structure of it now.
The structure of it.
But at the same time.
Go ahead. I'll let you. Yeah.
You know, if it's at a young age, and sometimes it's at the matter of a child going up to an adult telling them that they seen something or something happened, but does the adult really listen or believe the child because they're telling on somebody else in the family? That could be a case.
That is, and
that could
I
be
like
a case.
that. I like the way you said that.
No, that's definitely a case.
Because I feel like, and I'll kind of talk a couple pieces here. So I feel like that part is what the embarrassment is. Once you say something, P, to Trez's point, it almost becomes an issue. Like, why you lying?
Okay.
So now there's an embarrassment within you. There's something that's inside of you. Okay, well, I'm not saying shit else.
Right. That's exactly what it's going to lead to.
But on the other side to that, I actually think today's world is worse. Because here's the humiliation piece. The one thing you got to realize is, it's going to be some bullshit within the family. It's going to always be that secret. But once that shit gets out, and it's foul enough to be blasted, and they take one motherfucker that's the social butterfly or whatever the case may be, and they put that shit on social media, that shit going to be not just in New York, or in Florida, or in Texas. That shit finna be in all 50 states.
Okay.
So the embarrassment to me is it'll be.
Why are you embarrassed if the motherfucker act is true?
I'm not saying that the act didn't happen. I'm saying that you mentioned that the embarrassment was way worse. My point is that it's amplified.
No, I get that now, but
you kind of get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but what I was trying to allude to was your family stature, 70s, 80s, early 90s, your family stature, it carried a name.
Okay.
It carried a name. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In my family, it's you either recognize as a Davis or a Ramsey or whatever, right? The name carries weight.
Right. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Neither one is my last name.
Right.
But those two names in certain cities carry weight.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck that name up. So shit that happened, you keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Yep.
And later on in life, when people want to talk about it and some are told, get the fuck out of here, or nah, that's bullshit, or I ain't never had that, then now you have this disruption within the family. And
so that's definitely a way, because you're the way that you're presenting it. But then at the same time, you also have the way that's carrying the family's name.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. So yeah, that's definitely a reason. But then there's also the reason, like I was mentioning too, saying where a child's too young to really have a voice, so they have to keep everything to themselves. And then by the time they get of age, they're used to keeping everything within. Right. They don't have an outlet, and now situations within them starts happening.
But I think
it's two totally different situations.
Yeah,
two totally different
situations. And in your situation, I think as a parent, it's up to you,
most definitely,
to make your child feel comfortable to talk about any and everything.
Most definitely, I agree.
From a very young age, you just have a conversation. You make it seem as normal as possible.
Yeah.
For them to feel like they can just talk, And I think where we mess up at, and you tell me how you feel about this, is you have some parents that they quick to tell their children, go play somewhere.
Right.
I'm busy now, but you busy now is on your fucking phone.
Right.
Listen to the child, even if the story to you is a waste of 5 or 10 minutes. Just let them get it off.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's real.
I agree 1,000.
That's real. And you almost kind of took it out. You took that whole thing and just went with it, because that's exactly what I was about to say. How do we work as parents immediately to kind of fix that generational BS. You know what I mean? And I think that's a huge point. You have to speak to your kids.
Well, yeah, you definitely got to
put them on game, essentially. You know what I mean? You got to let them.
Absolutely.
You got to be patient with them as well. Like, you have to be patient. And definitely got to be patient, but you got to let them be themselves. Like, there's a new generation, and a lot of the reason being sometimes that people get so caught up in the old ways and, well, that's how I was raised, so that's how I'm going to raise my child. Like, you got to be able to adapt to what's going on, being in tune with what's going on right now, and still and mix that in with
and it's okay that you don't understand how they move.
Right. Well, I mean, there's no book on to be a parent. You know what I'm saying?
And nobody's raising their kids the exact same way.
Right. But you must pay attention.
100%.
And you must communicate. Don't always tell your kid to go in the room.
Yeah.
Spend time with your child.
Hey, man.
Like, gotta talk to them.
You sit them in that room, it's a lot to go on in that goddamn room you're aware of while you scrolling social media.
Yeah.
And finding a goddamn meme.
Yeah.
That motherfucker done met another friend.
Right.
Yeah. That's real. Funny story, my barber, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about certain things as far as for raising a kid, and he was like, his daughter is a certain age, right? When she was turning, I don't want to misquote him, but preteen age.
Right.
He didn't even sit down with her and say certain things because he just felt like, and I don't know if I want to have this conversation, but check this out. I'm gonna let you watch this episode of Chappelle Show. The joint where it was talking about the STDs or whatever the case may be. You watch this, and then come talk to me after.
Look,
I mean, it. I say that to say it might not have been the best choice, but you got to find a creative way to be able to link certain scenarios to what's gonna happen or what they may encounter as.
Well, can I tell you why?
Yeah, go for it.
Because my shit was probably the worst analogy ever. So when I had to talk with my son, I said, "Hey man, what's your favorite meal your mom makes?" He said, "Spaghetti." I said, "Word?" I said, "Yeah, I remember that shit was pretty good." I said, "But listen," I said, "Yo, imagine you and all your boys out playing basketball. Y'all running full court, so it's 5-on-5. Y'all get done. Y'all adapt each other up. Y'all come straight in the house, straight to your house. Your mom made spaghetti. Everybody goes in. They take their hand, they put it in the pot, they put it on the plate. You last. You still want that spaghetti?" Fuck no, nah, Dad, I don't want that spaghetti. I said, that's what unprotected sex is.
That's a hell of an
I said
analogy.
everybody done ran up in it and you laughed.
Oh, come on, Bo.
Oh, that was the way you presented
That was the talk.
You ain't got no grandkids, do you?
No, not yet.
Hey, that mean it was effective. It's effective as shit.
Hey, Trez, that's the only thing I can think of at the time.
Oh, boy.
Yo, if you don't mind me asking, how old was he at the time?
Probably like 13, 14.
See?
13, 14, okay.
My child ain't of age yet, but we get in there.
Hey, man.
We getting close, but.
And the only reason is because I remember his older brother at that same age, a girl had wrote him a letter saying, "I want to have your baby."
Wow.
And his older brother at the time was only 13, 14. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm reading it baffled.
What?
I called his mom, yo.
Hey.
I ain't got no answers for this one. Read that shit.
Wow. That's the shit that the youth, and like I said, I that is more or less like raising your kids to know right and wrong, but there are things that we see, we deal with, that affects our kids. And so I think it's important to nip it in the bud because when they do become adults, right? And you look at, and I won't even give names, but just look at the entertainment industry, look at the sports world, look at
Shit, you come around the corner.
Yeah, but we're not going, okay, I'll put it like this. The majority is not going to necessarily acknowledge around the corner until it's on blast. But the people that are in the limelight, that you see, you're going to talk about first. Not even acknowledging what's going on, like you said, right around the corner. My point and what I'm saying is that when you have the opportunity to nip it in the bud, it's important because as you can see, once these people become professionals, political figures, people in the entertainment industry, sports world, you see their unfortunate situations that they put themselves in, and it starts at a young age. And again, not to discredit what you're saying, P, yes, the shit is right around the corner. But more than likely, you're going to acknowledge that celebrity or whoever first because the shit is going to be a broadcast first, quickly.
I can see your point.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So what do you do? What is the ultimate change? Obviously, you know, there's therapeutic options, but I mean, what is the change that you can kind of give some of the people?
With anything that you're saying, therapeutic, family members, however, but I mean, it all circles around one thing is communication.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be able to better communicate with the individual that you're speaking with to get a better idea or a better feeling of what's going on with them. And that's going to right there change everything. Like, communicating, knowing how to speak to a person, not just dead insensitive, you know what I'm saying?
But does that ultimately help your mental health?
By speaking with a person?
Yeah.
I think so.
It depends on who you're talking to.
So that's what I said. Like your immediate circle, you have to evaluate that,
right? Well, that's
at different times.
Well, I mean,
and also,
go ahead. With our culture, shit is fucked up, but we gotta kind of ease in. You know what I mean? You gotta kind of ease into shit because right now, if we all are we have a relationship. We're building a relationship, right? You have to get to a point where you say, hey, my man, are you really good? You know what I'm saying? It becomes a point where you kind of know a person's movements,
right,
and you know that they ain't moving like they normally move.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's your responsibility at that point to say, hey.
To be honest when you answer it.
Yeah. Well, ask the question.
Right. But the person has to be honest when they're answering the question.
But then if the answer don't feel right to you, because this is your friend, your colleague, right? Then you can say, hey, man, well, I'm only asking because, you know, I noticed you ain't. So I'm just checking on you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No harm, no foul. I'm just checking on you. You need to talk, get something off your chest. I'm here.
Pete, you said something that resonated with me recently, and I don't want to misquote you, but I remember it was something to the effect of, you go, let's just say you on the block, in certain areas, you get different love.
Yeah.
You may be, you know, our different hoods is South, North, East, and West Dallas. You know, It may be different love in South Dallas than you get in North Dallas.
Right.
Can you kind of expound on it a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's all on the way. One, you got to be aware of your surroundings, right? So people already go be.
It's like a territorial thing.
It is definitely a territorial thing.
Yeah,
people know when you're not supposed to be there.
Right. That's a territorial thing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a territorial thing. But you just gotta you gotta be who you are at all times. You know, not pose a threat when no threat. You don't need to pose a threat. You know what I'm saying? Some people just. Their defense mechanism is being loud and boisterous for no reason.
Right. I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So there's a defense mechanism that's up.
Right.
There's a reason why. We've already talked about it. We've had trauma since childhood. You know, and this is no given person. Just, this is your mask. It's just like if I came to you and I said, hey, Trez, what's up? You doing all right today? Now, I may have spoken to you maybe 3 or 4 times in the past, but if I come and ask you that, your automatic response is gonna be what?
I mean, if I don't fuck with you like that,
and that's the truth.
No,
I knew it was. That's
if I don't fuck with you like that, you know, I'm gonna look at you like, why you asking me? But if I fuck with you like that, then I'm gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? Everything's peace. Or if it ain't peace, I'm gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying?
You feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Unless I'm paying you to give you my thoughts, and you supposed to help me with dealing with those thoughts, I don't need no random motherfucker asking me how I'm doing.
Right.
So y'all think that that's normal?
For me? Fuck yeah.
My circle's small, man. Y'all know me. I don't fuck with people like that.
I say that because, man,
To ask me how I'm doing mentally.
No.
Or just to ask me how I'm doing.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm great. And I'm going to keep it pushing.
I'm just saying. My point is that normal exchange.
No, let me tell you something. When I moved here, this shit was the absolute worst place in America. Because everybody was, hi, welcome to Texas. Hi, welcome to Texas. Hi, welcome to Texas. Fuck this place.
See? That's the shit.
But that's how it was when I first moved here.
It wasn't like that for me.
What I was talking about.
It wasn't like that for you?
Fuck no.
What was it for you?
They weren't saying, hi, welcome to Texas.
Well, I was in Louisville. And all
no, there. That was, okay, of course.
Keller. I was nowhere near the hood.
Where the fuck you was at, man?
But yeah, the shit fucked me up.
But you don't necessarily have to be in the hood. My thing is
this was nowhere in the hood.
Yeah, well, he was.
For me, I was in the suburbs.
Yeah.
I was in,
Of course,
like I said, Keller, Louisville, the Colony, all of this shit. And the more they want to carry on the conversation, the more I'm wondering when you gonna ask me what you want.
Because you think it's an ulterior motive.
What you want?
That's my
But that's based on how I was raised.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all about based on how you grew up,
Exactly.
man.
Right.
That's my point.
I keep my circle small, man.
What is ultimately the one thing that you can do? And I have mine. You may have yours. You may have yours, Trez. What is the one thing you can do to change that automatic perception of what the fuck is it that you want when you are?
I don't think
I'm gonna change that because
okay.
The older I've got, that's why my circle's small now. I'm just trying to get.
Let's paint another scenario. So you have a successful career in whatever profession you like, and there is a particular situation that comes up, and you may or may not be prepared for it. Let's just say you're not prepared for it, and you are in a limelight that you probably never been in before, and everything is at the forefront. It's at a head.
Coming at you.
It's coming at you, right? How you've been brought up, you are taught to either one, shut down. Two, embrace it with the asshole mentality, or probably three, hey, I'm gonna do something drastic. I'm gonna turn into some type of vice. So, what do you do?
Well, that's a different scenario, because if it's corporate, and I'm put in that position, me personally, I've been trained to overcome and adapt like a chameleon to my surroundings. So, I was just told never let them see you sweat.
Okay. So, what about you, Pete?
But that's the beauty of it, right? That you are able to adapt. You know how to adapt.
If you've been in a lot of different situations growing up, like, it's kind of like you're never really uncomfortable because the life's experience that you've gone through has kind of put you in a situation like, okay, I've seen this, so I've been in something similar to this before. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you've had the lesson, you was able to learn from the lesson growing up, then it was great. You know what I'm saying? If not, you may not act accordingly.
I've had the benefit of having family in the hood and having family that's well the fuck off.
Yeah,
likewise.
So I'm sure all of us have. So
you can see the
dealing
difference
with those family members, you know how to act with this family,
right?
And you know when you can get dirty with it.
Some houses right when you get to the door, the shoes is coming off.
So you having to have that experience. You have that experience, and you're okay with that. But the picture I'm trying to paint is: what if all else fails? What if you're not able to adapt as well? What happens then? What is your next step?
You learn from it.
You either learn from it or what else?
That's the only thing.
Well, everybody ain't made the same, realistically speaking. So there's some people that fail to learn.
And they fail to learn.
That's why they're called repeat offenders.
And what?
Touche, my brother. Touche. You got me.
That is very true. But where is the understanding that, hey, I need to change? What do you do? Do you use therapy? Do you isolate?
So
I don't think isolation is ever good.
Isolation is never good. The therapy thing, I can't speak heavy on. I know that both of you have told me something about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's encouraged, but I can't really speak on it. I'm not gonna.
Well, I did it, Trez. I was married for 9 years. After we got divorced, I went to therapy, and what I would tell anybody is, one, I think I found a cheat code. Found a black lady,
right,
somewhat attractive. Didn't mind talking to her.
So it's easy.
To me, it was easy.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't mind going. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
now, don't
judge.
Don't mistake it that I thought I had a shot at anything, but it was just somebody that I felt, okay, I don't mind telling this person my business, knowing that it's confidential. It ain't going to go nowhere. And she seemed like she giving me real feedback. So what I would say is, if you're a black man, depending on what you're talking about, go find a black woman or go find a black man. But find somebody close to your age range so they understand.
More understanding.
What you're talking about.
Can relate better
they can relate.
Yes, sir.
Because when you start speaking lingo, that person needs to understand what that lingo means. You know what I'm saying? Because they're human at the end of the day.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I did this shit for like 3 years, though. Shit, after being married that fucking long, I came out that motherfucker not knowing what I like. Compromise so motherfucking much. Like, goddamn, do I like
sacrifice this shit?
Do I like ice cream? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking let me try this shit.
And that was what I was trying to pull out of you. Pete, you did it. You had a great illustration. I think that there is an important piece to us black men that there may be some shit that you've seen, P, that Trez, you might not have experienced. There might be some shit that both of y'all saw that I have not experienced. You don't know, regardless of what your support structure looks like, or who you have around you, or who you're willing to talk to, all else might fail. And so what's next? Is it therapy? Is it, you say isolation doesn't work.
No,
what is that?
Isolation doesn't work. And I'll tell you this, I lost both my parents at a young age. And this ain't to make the show dark or no shit, but I lost both my parents at a young age. My mom when I was 12, my dad when I was 15.
Damn, hate to hear that.
So mentally, I isolated myself.
Right.
I missed 2 years mentally. And there was people there trying to pull me out, trying to help me, but I was just gone, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wish the people that were supposed to be taking care of me then knew to put me into therapy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the one thing I wish I would have had. But coming out of that, when you do snap out of it, you learn to move different. You know what I'm saying? I move like, yo, it's just me. I got to take care of me, and now I'm responsible for one other person in this goddamn world. And I'm going to make sure he get the best that I can give him. But it's taking a toll on relationships because I want to get close, but I really don't want to get close to a motherfucker and they leave me through death. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
No, I can understand that.
So those just the shits that that's some shit I needed to deal with. I didn't deal with it till later in life when I went to that therapist after being divorced, and that's one of the things that we tackled.
Yeah, and that's the example that you want to provide because there's light at the end of that tunnel.
Right.
So for anybody listening, you're going through whatever, trust and believe. We understand. I've been through a numerous amount of different occasions, been put in different positions I wasn't ready for. And the only way I got out was just out of sheer strength. I haven't been lucky enough to admit myself that therapy is needed. I've done it, but not 3 years long. Not enough to really get what I needed out. And, I don't know if you have anything you want to share, but I just wanted to shed light on this particular topic because mental health, man, it still exists. It's very true. It's very real. And it comes at different levels of success. So, Trez, I don't know if you have anything else, man, you want to share about that, but.
No, man, I agree with everything you guys said. Very serious matter, and we just definitely need to pay more attention to it. Try to catch it earlier than later. I think if you catch it earlier, then, the greater chance you have of not letting it grow into something worse than it could possibly be. So, I mean, it's definitely important. Communication is key. I mean, you know, we just got to go from there, just pay attention more and communicate more to what's going on around you these days.
Absolutely. And if you guys have anything that you want to share as far as for a specific person or a therapist or just anything that can help our brothers.
I don't remember that lady's name, but
I mean, but in the future, if you run into
what
somebody,
I will tell you is,
or any type of literature too,
just look it up, man. Do your research. Find that person. I gave you the most I could give you.
Yeah, I'll definitely research it because, I mean, that's something I ain't never done before. It takes a lot to open up to somebody as a total stranger and tell them shit about
But see,
you.
that's the freeness of it.
I mean, and I see where you come from.
Yeah. That's the freeness of it because
it's unbiased.
They don't know you. They can't pass no judgment. The only thing they may ask you is, well, why'd you do that?
Right.
What made you feel like doing that shit?
Yeah.
And you can say, I don't know. I just didn't give a fuck that day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need them to sign some documents before we have this therapy session.
They're licensed. That's the document. I ain't telling you to go get the girl
confidential.
underground in the basement when she's giving ass shots and a psychiatrist.
No, man, this ain't
that. Ain't who you want to talk to.
Yeah, we not doing all that.
Motherfucker put goddamn what's that shit? Fixer flat asses.
That's what they doing still.
That's what they was doing. I don't know what the fuck they
not
doing
in the
now.
basement, is it?
Basement, high rise, whatever the fuck.
I was in the basement.
All I know is a lot of motherfuckers walking around here with fixer flat asses.
Hey man, it's looking bad.
So y'all stupid, man.
It's us.
Yeah. Hey, so just so you guys know, mental health is very real in our community. So if you have somebody around you that you know has gone through some type of traumatic experience, family, friend, whatever the case may be, reach out to them. Be that little bit of light that they need. We definitely have to continue to uplift our community, specifically ours. Just making sure our black men.
And we got to do better as brothers. I mean, shit. The women seem like they almost got this shit figured out. You always see them in groups taking trips and shit. I mean, shit. Why we can't get together as brothers? Say we go on the event and party our asses off wherever we fuck we going.
Some of us can. Some of us cannot.
See, you ain't going nowhere. Trash, when we going to Miami, yo?
Yeah, we could go anytime you want to, boy.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all gonna stop doing that shit on this here podcast. Y'all have to stop that bullshit.
Anytime you want to, boy.
All right, we going to Miami next weekend. You down?
Man, I ain't going no fucking Miami, man. Stop playing. We all ready to go for real. Then we can talk about that.
Come on, man. It's
and we can really get some shit off our chest. But whenever y'all ready, stop playing.
It's Aquarius season. Y'all know what that is.
Hey, UnMask'D Podcast, episode 6. Please make sure that y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please make sure you do download and stream on SoundCloud and Spotify. Apple and Google coming soon. Definitely thank y'all for tuning in for episode 6. Till next time, we out.